Yeah, this on my own head real quick, doing a recap of the Monday night game between Steelers and the Colts. And that's my little thoughts on it. And it was I guess it was a game between two bad teams this year. Two teams is I guess trying to find which direction they want to go. The Colts on one hand trying to see if they're going to keep Saturday as a coach, and then the Steelers giving Kenny Pickett the reps to see if he the guy moving forward, is that somebody they're gonna build with. So we was seeing that uh the Colts, they gonna play hard and whatnot. And it's, I mean, not to say they wasn't gonna do this with the old coach, because they know they typically play hard, but it just seemed like they doing as best as they could, given that they got Matt Ryan as the quarterback right now. Right now he probably showing that he ain't got it. Um, a couple of the team stats that was interesting was the Steelers, they was 7 of 14 on third down, so they was killing it. The Colts was 3 of 12, and 2 of 3 on fourth down. The total yards leaned a little bit towards the Steelers, 323 to 290 for the Colts. So it was about a wash. They both had 10 drives and whatnot. And time of possession, it was 34 minutes for the Steelers as opposed to 25 for the Colts. So, when you're looking at the game, you was kind of saying like, Jonathan Taylor, I guess it's gonna be sink or swim with him. And it was kind of like that even last year, but he really hasn't got his footing going since he been like hurt, battling injuries and stuff. So, I mean, he had 20 carries for 86 and a touchdown, and as a team they had 25 for 110 and a touchdown. I don't think that's really gonna be a recipe for them to win, especially they kind of need a little bit more. They gotta just go all in and just say they more of a run oriented team. But Matt Ryan, he only gave him 22 completion for 34 attempts, 199, a touchdown and a pick, and he was sacked 3 times. So you know, passing the ball, they kind of did good as far as featured the young boy Woods. He was 8 of 90, 8 for 98 on 9 targets, which is pretty solid for him. Uh, Pittman, he on 11 targets, he caught 7 for 61. And so they was mainly the main contributors for the passing game yesterday. And so, defensive wise, they had 3 sacks. The guy who was a former Viking and former Jaguar, not I can't never say his name, but he had 2 sacks and he had two QB hits. So he was solid. Their defense ain't horrible, but it's just they don't really get enough from the offense on week to week. You know what I'm saying? But it was it was it was it was just a typical game. It is. You feel me? Like they just fight all the way to the end. The score definitely not gonna, so far since Saturday did been there, they haven't been blown out. And like I said, because they do got some pieces. You got Gilmore, you got Moore. Those are some solid corners. You got Buckner, you got Nagakwe. Yeah, that's his name. You got him. So they got some pieces, but they still gotta probably just build on the quarterback though. You know, um, you just want to see how they're gonna feature Woods more. He's definitely looks like somebody that they can get some mismatches from week to week. You go on the Steelers, on the other hand, they kind of went more on the running tip. Najee Harris, he got hurt early, so they kind of leaned on Snell. He had 12 carries for 62 on the touchdown. Pickett, he can move better than you think. He had 6 carries for 32, and altogether they had 172 yards with 2 touchdowns on 36 carries. So that's pretty solid for the Steelers. Pickett, he only had 174, but he ain't have no turnovers, right? Yeah, he ain't had no turn. He ain't fumble or intercept or had any pass intercepted. But what you could see from him that you don't get from Zach Wilson is you could tell he's way more confident as far as like, you know, in the pocket. You know, if he don't see shit, he gonna take off running, and he can, like I said, he can move a little bit. He nimble. You know, he ain't no speedster, but he can kind of, if he got to run for 6 yards to get a first down, he's that type of guy. Um, when you see him passing the ball, right? He kind of looks like he's favoring Pickens over Johnson. Pickens had 6 targets, caught 3 for 57. Johnson had 8 targets, 5 for 49. The crazy thing about Johnson is I don't think he scored yet this season, if I ain't mistaken. Let me look right quick. Yeah, and I was surprised because he was making such strides. Yeah, he ain't even scored. He ain't scored this year, not yet. But he was making some serious strides last year, like he was gonna be their number one. But Pickens kind of came along to where Claypool became an expendable. You feel me? And like Pittsburgh just always gonna get a gem in the late rounders because they scouts is pretty good at finding receivers and whatnot. And Freemonth, he had 4 targets, caught 3 for 39. But it really wasn't a pass game. It was just, they played solid defense. You know what I'm saying? They had 3 sacks, 8 QB hits. So they was pressuring Matt Ryan most of the day. And it was just, one of them Pittsburgh type of wins. It's not gonna jump off the screen as a offensive type of night, but it was, you got a good running game, 172 from the rushing game, pretty much shutting the passing game down. They didn't get 200 yards passing, so solid defense, Pittsburgh defense showing up, pressuring the quarterback with the run game. That's usually like, Steelers how they used to win. It wasn't until Big Ben started just throwing that out the lot and whatnot. But usually that's how Pittsburgh normally win for decades. Good running and solid defense, and that contributed to them getting the win yesterday, 24-17. So we gonna just continue to see. Like last week, it was one of Pickett's better performances because he had to throw them to keep them in the contest with Cincinnati. So he got some capabilities. So it's just the Colts have like I said, solid defense and whatnot. So it's gonna be interesting. They still gonna have some games to continue to build on. But yeah, you like I said, it seems like he's leaps and bounds ahead of Zach Wilson. That's why, Zach Wilson is on the pine right now. But yeah, it was a solid win. And it's just, still is just gonna be playing people. Both of them just gonna be playing people tough. Probably be spoiled to try to mess a couple of the big dogs records up. But yeah, that's just how the game played out yesterday. Just one type of games where maybe in the beginning of the year that maybe they thought that it was gonna be something of significant, but it was like I said, it's cool just to, you got the chance to just take a look at Pickett and just see how he man the pocket and whatnot. And maybe if Harris didn't go out, then the game would have. Well, nah, I ain't even gonna say that. I ain't gonna say. I'll take that back. It was just a solid game. They had a good game plan. They stuck to it, and they got the dub, and that's all they probably was looking to get. So it's gonna be a couple of coaches that's gonna get fired this year. So people just gonna keep an eye out on the Steelers job because I think he got a record where he hasn't. Mike Tomlin hasn't had a record where he ended the year like under 500. So we'll see if they could scrap and claw and make sure like he keep that streak going. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. All right, thanks for listening.